music fans of the internet. We are back again with another edition of last week's album. I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And we'll start things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
And this week we are talking about a debut album called Daytona by a band called Daytona. Just a little bit of background on the band. They are a three-piece based out of New York. Guitar, bass, and drums, Hunter Simpson, Jose Boyer, and Christopher Lauderdale, respectively. And a little backstory, after playing together in bands in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, they all, I think, independently relocated to New York and sort of came together there and started playing together there. And the album was also recorded in North Carolina. So a little bit of North Carolina vibe to it, perhaps. Derek, what do you think Daytona sounds like?
Kevin, I think Daytona sounds like what would happen if Fleet Foxes and Grizzly Bear got drunk over a vampire weekend and had a baby.
Only had one baby out of that massive orgy. I like it.
Yeah.
For my sounds like, I'm going with a daydream of the perfect day on a mythical beach, and I say daydream because that's always better than the actual experience. And this album just feels like this rush of endorphins and good vibes and beachy and surfy and all those things. So that's what I'm going with. What are your key tracks, Derek?
Kevin, I'm going with The Road and Raincoat.
Right on. I will agree with you on Raincoat. However, for my other key track, I'm going with Old Friend. So why don't you kick us off with The Road? I believe that is the album opener.
That it is. The Road opens with some bouncy, dueling electric guitar riffs, and then some Caribbean-style drums come in, and then just bright, harmonized vocals. Just a really great opening sound, and I liked how you described it earlier, a daydream of a day at the beach or whatever. They really, I think your description there really encapsulates this sound on this opening track. The lyrics were written by some members while on a road trip through the southeastern part of the U.S., and some of the opening lyrics I just really liked. It says, "The road never seems to end. It's some kind of shadow's end. At home, what are you looking for? Go out and learn some more." Just really insightful lyrics and just really warm, catchy vocal and instrumental melodies. Just a fantastic opening track.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is a great intro to their overall sound. However, my first key track is Old Friend, and I think it's about halfway through the album. Which for me, the album kind of got better at that halfway point and started really getting even more interesting than it had. Not that the first half was bad at all. But Old Friend sort of cues that change for me. And banging drums, bright, almost 8-bit guitar, thumping bass, lush harmonies, and these almost like teen idol vocals. It gets in this sort of like doo-woppy kind of, I don't know, yelpy vocal range that for some reason reminded me of like 50s teen idol. So a nice touch there. And then it shifts into this driving sort of ebb and flow of a chorus that sort of slows down with acoustic picking and then picks back up with layered vocals. And it does this a few times. And then at the end, the whole thing sort of drops out into just lo-fi vocals and guitar noodling. And I think they're saying Jose Cuervo, at least I hope they're saying Jose Cuervo. I can't quite make it out, but that's what I'm going with. And that sort of capped it all off for me for a key track there. Derek, why did you like Raincoat?
I guess to summarize the Raincoat here, they cover what I thought was an amazing amount of different sounds in a mere 4.5 minutes. It opens with a plucked acoustic guitar riff, very folk Americana sounding, and then these bright, hazy electric guitars come in. There's a key hook. Prominent snare drum riff for a while. It just really covers a broad range of sounds. The layered vocals I thought were especially strong here, very prominently featured at some points, and just overall, I thought really demonstrated their flexibility and just the range of sounds they can capture. It just really solid through and through here.
Yeah, I agree. That's one reason I really liked it. It is a roller coaster of a track. It's up and down and all over the place. And as you mentioned, a lot of different musical styles. Um, I mean, from the opening line, "Trouble, oh trouble, I'm in trouble," but it's a cloudy definition, and the song's called "Raincoat." Like that just kicks it all off in really good fashion. And then, as you mentioned, a lot of different sounds. I really like the sort of upbeat versus downbeat back and forth that they do. They get really chill and somber, and then it gets super upbeat around the sort of like bridge area, and it gets almost dancey, I would say. Which
Yeah.
I don't think the album, I would describe it at least as dancey, other than that one little spot. And I loved it. And then it downshifts even more to get even more barren with just vocal wails over their three instruments. So it's all over the place in a really good way. And yeah, I think that's why we agree it is definitely one of the key tracks. Which brings us to best lyric, Derek.
Mine is going to come from Raincoat. And by the way, Dancy is exactly in my notes how I had to describe that one portion. I had no other way. I was like, it's Dancy.
Yeah.
Exactly it. But my best lyric from Raincoat is, "I wore your love like a raincoat. Now the rain, I feel it all the way around." I just thought it was a really kind of cool metaphor here. As I say, even as we just went on about the musical strengths of that song, there were some strong lyrics there as well, which I thought was true throughout the album.
Yeah, totally. Really good lyrics all over, but as you mentioned, that is one of the best songs for them. My best lyric comes from Old Friend, my other key track, which I talked about earlier, and the line goes, "I have been waiting for you. I have been waiting for so long to see you. I don't mind waiting to see you again." And that part of the song where they get into that line, it's not just about the line. Like everything's sort of building there. It's sonically, lyrically, philosophically, like the apex of the album for me. That was the high point. And it also, the lyric just exemplifies Daytona's penchant for this like heartbreaking beauty. I would describe it like. Feels very happy, but sometimes very dark at the same time, which is a really nice effect they do as a band. So, Derek, overall rating, what are you giving it?
Kevin, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. Overall, I thought it was really good through and through. They really capture or bring together a lot of different sounds and genres in ways that I haven't heard combined before. I really liked the layered vocals. I find that that sort of thing is common or becoming present in very folky or acoustic type sounds, but they use it here, but not in that context at all. And I really like how they use it here with this daydream of a perfect day at the beach, as you used to describe. Just very impressed with this debut full-length album here. And looking forward to looking forward to hearing more from them going forward.
All right, well, forward, not only
the four, my grade. Go.
Oh, I got you. I thought you were saying moving forward.
I was reiterating the point.
We also agree here. I'm going with a 4 out of 5 as well for many of the same reasons. As a band, I think they do really well shifting gears within songs, but doing so very effortlessly, which is a really nice touch. And very unique vocals, as you mentioned, Derek. Everything from this emotional wailing to this really effortless oohs and ahs as sort of backing elements. So, and overall, they have this unique sort of island surfy sound that adds a lot of fun to what I think otherwise would be too serious if you get too into the lyrics and the emotion behind some of these tracks, but it keeps it fun with that upbeat vibe overall. And I thought they maintained throughout the whole album, as I mentioned earlier. It actually gets better as it goes through. So, yeah, 10 tracks in 37 minutes, which does not feel like 37 minutes. It feels longer than that in a good way. So, 4 out of 5, we agree here, guys. You should go check out Daytona by Daytona. And there you have it, another album review from last week's album. Don't forget to subscribe and hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. Let us know what you think or what we should review next. All right, guys. I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
Last week's album, Talking About Good Music. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.